Hi, and welcome to the Angler's Diary fishing blog. Today I'm back on the Shropshire Union Canal in Cheshire for the third part of my ultralight lure fishing adventures. This is a new area for me. On this stretch is a lock and two bridges. Between the bridges there are plenty of moored boats. I've started by fishing amongst the boats to see if there's any perch in the area. It took a while, but eventually I found a suicidal micro perch that took a small Pt3 lure. At least I caught one of my target species, but I was hoping for something a little bigger. After catching that micro perch, I carried on and completed my search of the boats with no more fish. One of the bridges was next. I thought this feature would produce fish, but surprisingly it didn't. Once past the bridge I found a few micro perch, but I couldn't make them stick. I got them both almost to the surface before they managed to throw the hook. I think both bites were bigger fish than the micro perch I started with, but not by much. With no more bites forthcoming, I headed back to the lock. This looked like a really good area and I probably should have started here. Better late than never. First cast and I hooked into a decent fish. It didn't feel like a small pike and I was convinced it was the big perch I was looking for. Unfortunately, the hook pulled before I could get the fish to the surface, so I'll never know for sure. I didn't let the loss deter me, and I carried on searching the backwater just off the lock gates. There was water coming in from the left from the upper canal, and from the right from the lock gates themselves, and the little backwater looked a perfect gathering place for all sorts of fish. I knew there would be predators here, and a few casts later I found myself connected to another small pike on the Pt3 shad. This fish gave a good account of itself and at one point went airborne as it tried to throw the hook. I won the day with this one and eventually I chinned out another nice jack. Eventually I decided to change setups. This area looks a really good spot, so I got out the heavier pike rod and the multiplier reel and put on the Rapala shad wrap lure. I had a strike at the lure just as I was about to lift it out of the water, but I didn't get a hook up. Not long after this the battery went in my GoPro, so the next pike I caught wasn't recorded. It was slightly smaller than the first, but most welcome anyways. By the time I caught that second pike it was getting on. I'd already done an hour and a half on the bank, so I brought my session to an end and headed for home. All in all it was a decent trip, one micro perch and two pike caught. I'd rather not have lost 5 fish during the session, but at least I've had a few more bites than usual, and one thing's for sure, I'll definitely be back to this canal lock again. Until next time, tight lines. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to receive part 4 of my lure fishing journey along the Shropshire Union Canal.